If you're over 40, Zone 2 running can be one of the best fat loss tools, but only if you do it right. Do it wrong and you could be leaving some serious fat burning gains on the table. Worse yet, you might even be burning carbohydrates instead of fats without knowing it. Coming up are 6 mistakes to avoid so you can maximize the rate of fat burn with every minute you run. Mistake 1. Stopping before the fat starts burning. Most people don't realize that during the first 20 to 30 minutes of a Zone 2 run, the body is still burning mainly carbohydrates. The shift to fats as the predominant fuel source only happens after that window. Surprising, right? Especially since the global guidelines, like those from WHO and CDC, suggest that 150 minutes of moderate cardio a week, often split into 5 30-minute sessions. While good for general health, those 30-minute sessions are not long enough for real fat oxidation. Here's why. At the start of a run, your muscles demand energy instantly, but your aerobic system takes time to catch up. Oxygen delivery, mitochondrial activation, and fat metabolism lags behind, so your body taps into anaerobic glycolysis for quick ATP, which floods the system with an energy byproduct known as pyruvate at a rate that is faster than your mitochondria can process, causing a temporary spike in lactate. If you've ever done a full lactate test, the graph says it all. With heart rate on the x-axis and lactate on the y-axis, lactate is often higher at the beginning, but as oxygen delivery ramps up and mitochondria kicks in, lactate levels gradually drop and stabilize right around 2 millimoles per liter. This is your upper limit of Zone 2, or LT1, which stands for lactate threshold 1. That's the point where fat oxidation dominates. So, to actually burn fat, you need to be running past that threshold. 30 to 45 minutes is the minimum, but a 45 to 90 minute Zone 2 run is optimal for fat loss. Now think about it. If it takes 30 minutes to switch into fat burning mode and your run is only 45 minutes, you're really only burning fat for 15 minutes. The better strategy is to do fewer but longer Zone 2 runs. So instead of 5 short 30 to 40 minute runs a week, go for 3 runs that are close to an hour each. You spend more time in the fat burning zone and save time on warm-ups, cool-downs, and showers. It's a smarter and more efficient way to burn fat. Mistake 2. Running in the wrong Zone 2. This is the part that throws most people off. There are actually 2 versions of Zone 2, and if you don't know the difference, you might be training in the wrong one. The Zone 2 version you see on most smartwatches, fitness apps, and online charts has a range that is between 60 to 70% of maximum heart rate. This is a simplified and conservative one-size-fits-all estimate. It is based on population averages to keep beginners, especially sedentary users, in a safe aerobic zone, and it reduces the risk of overtraining for them. The real Zone 2, the one used by elite coaches and researchers like Dr. Steven Seiler and Dr. Inigo San Millan, is defined by your lactate levels, specifically the point before lactate starts to rise rapidly, usually around 2 millimoles per liter. For most people, that lines up with 70 to 80% of maximum heart rate. If you're untrained, you might be closer to 70%. If you're very fit, it could be 80% or even slightly more. For me personally, 2 millimoles per liter lines up around 75% of my maximum heart rate. This true Zone 2 is where fat burning peaks. Although the true Zone 2 range may burn a lower percentage of fat, your total fat burn per minute is much higher because your energy output is also higher, even more important than just the amount of fat burn per minute. This intensity hits the sweet spot for mitochondrial biogenesis. In other words, it triggers your cells to build more and better mitochondria, which are the tiny engines in your muscles that burn fat for fuel. And why is this important? Well, because the only way that fat can be oxidized or burned is inside the mitochondria. So, more mitochondria means more fat burn. Not just during your Zone 2 runs, but even at rest. So if you want to get the most out of every Zone 2 run, you need to train near your true upper limit, which is around LT1. That's where the real magic happens. Mistake 3. Mixing intensities during Zone 2 runs. Zone 2 training relies on steady aerobic metabolism, which is primarily burning fat and driving mitochondrial growth. But the moment you layer intensity on top, like throwing in intervals mid-run or hitting the gym before a Zone 2 run, your body shifts into anaerobic mode. That means it burns more carbs, produces more lactate, and shifts in adaptation. Instead of boosting fat burn and mitochondrial efficiency, you start training power, speed, and lactate clearance. That's not a bad goal, but it's not the right stimulus if fat loss is what you're after. To be clear, drifting slightly into zone 3 is not what I mean by mixing intensities. In fact, there's nothing inherently wrong with that despite what you've been led to believe. While zone 2 is the intensity that burns the most fat per minute, the fat burning switch doesn't turn off the second you dip into zone 3. Although fat oxidation rate can reduce by 20 to 30% when you drift into zone 3, you're still burning fat and settling back down into the optimal fat burning state of zone 2 after crossing into low zone 3 only takes 2 to 5 minutes, so that's not really a big deal. The real problem is when you hit zone 4 or higher, past your second lactate threshold or LT2. That's where lactate spikes and fat burning drops by 50 to 100%. Once you hit that point, it can take 20 to 30 minutes for your body to settle back down into an efficient fat burning state, meaning you lose a big chunk of effective zone 2 work and end up wasting valuable training time if fat loss is your primary goal. But if you want to combine intensity with zone 2, that's a smarter way to do that. Do your zone 2 work first, clean and steady for say 45 to 60 minutes, then layer the high intensity stuff at the end. Think fast finish long runs or post zone 2 intervals. That way, you preserve the fat burning stimulus and still get the metabolic bonus at the end. Mistake 4. Ignoring the importance of consistency. Zone 2 training works like compound interest. The longer you stay consistent, the greater the return. Every zone 2 run sends a small signal to your body to grow and strengthen mitochondria. One session ain't gonna change much, but stack those sessions across weeks and months and you get a compound effect that will steadily increase your ability to burn fat with every minute you run. As your aerobic system develops, your rate of fat oxidation per minute goes up, even at the same heart rate. That's why consistency matters much more than perfection. It's not just about burning those fat calories today, it's about upgrading the engine that burns those fat calories tomorrow. Think of it like building a bigger fireplace. You're not just lighting a match, but you're creating a setup that burns more wood with the same flame. A point to double click on is that after 40, your body will adapt more slowly than it used to, but it still adapts. The key is to give it the right stimulus, often enough, without interruption. So forget chasing short-term results. Stay consistent, let the work compound, and trust that every zone 2 run is an investment towards a fat-burning engine that grows more powerful with age. Mistake 5. Inadequate quality sleep. You can run all the zone 2 miles you want, but if your sleep quality is poor, you're leaving serious fat burning gains on the table. It's not only about the hours in bed, it's also about how well your body actually recovers and the quality of your sleep. Poor sleep quality raises cortisol, which drives fat storage, especially around the belly. It also lowers insulin sensitivity, making your body less efficient at burning fat and more likely to shift back to using carbs even during your zone 2 runs. And here's the kicker. Sleep is when your mitochondria repairs and multiply. That's the whole point of zone 2, to build a better fat burning engine. But without deep restorative sleep, the engine doesn't get the upgrade. You're doing the work but not enjoying the reward, and nobody wants that. What's worse is that after 40, quality sleep gets even harder. You get less deep sleep. You wake up more during the night, spend more time tossing and turning, and recover slower from even one bad night. Your brain feels foggy, cravings spike, motivation dips, and your body clings onto fat like it's in survival mode. So it's not enough to just log 7 to 8 hours. You've got to defend sleep quality like your fat loss results depends on it, because they do. That means winding down earlier, reducing blue light, skipping the nightcap, cutting late caffeine, and sticking to a regular sleep schedule. Poor sleep doesn't just leave you tired and groggy, it blunts fat oxidation, slows recovery, and wrecks your hormonal balance. One of the simplest and most effective tools I found to improve sleep quality is wearing blue light blocking glasses as part of my pre-sleep routine. They help your brain boost melatonin production naturally by filtering out stimulating blue light at night, which means deeper sleep, better recovery, and more time in the fat-burning, mitochondria-building stages of sleep. The pair I use is from a company called Block Blue Light. Their quality is top tier, but the price is better than most brands I've tried. They ship fast from warehouses in the US, UK, Australia, and New Zealand, so wherever you are, you're covered. They're also offering viewers of this channel a 10% discount on their entire catalog, from their signature glasses to sleep aids and red light therapy gear. The link is in the description. There's no limit to how many times you can use it, and you're welcome to share it with your friends and family too. Just don't forget to use the link. Mistake 6. Fuel source doesn't equal fat loss. Yes, zone 2 running is great for fat burn as a fuel source, but fat burn is not the same as fat loss. Let me explain. It's easy to assume that if you're oxidizing fat during a run, that fat is coming off your body. But that's not how fat loss works. What you burn during a run is only part of the equation. Your body's total energy balance, calories in versus calories out, is what ultimately determines if you're dropping fat, gaining fat, or staying the same. Think of it like this. Fat oxidation during your zone 2 run is just your body using fat to power the engine. But fat loss only happens when the fuel tank ends the day lower than where it started. You can burn fat for an hour, but if you overeat the rest of the day, even clean and healthy food, your body will still store the surplus as fat. This mistake hits even harder after 40 because your metabolism slows down, your recovery costs more energy, and your margins for error is smaller. You can't just rely on exercise. The key is pairing consistent zone 2 training with sustainable nutrition habits. Without both, you're running a fat burning engine but not actually going anywhere. So yes, train your body to become better at burning fat and towards metabolic flexibility. That's a win, but don't confuse fuel source with fat loss. Fat loss is earned over 24 hours, not just the 60 minutes you spend running in zone 2. Now if this video helped sharpen your zone 2 game for fat loss, drop a comment and let me know your biggest takeaway. Running thousands of kilometers in zone 2 in my late 40s got me leaner than I've ever been, and if you stay consistent, it can do the same for you. To help you gear up for the road ahead, here are 10 secrets I learned running 5,000 kilometers in zone 2 between my 45th and 46th birthday. And before you go, please hit like and subscribe. It's free, takes a second, and it really supports the channel. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one. Cheers.